Hello everyone and welcome to my show, FitLife, Healthy Mind and Body. My name is Natalia Kotowska and I will be your host. This is the UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. With over 13 years of international experience in sport and fitness, years of study, I would like to share my experience, knowledge, and most importantly, my endless love and passion for living a healthy lifestyle for my mental and physical well-being. On this show, we will be talking about fitness, sport, healthy living, nutrition, fitness facts, and more. We will be answering your questions. We will have guest speakers, and what's most important, we will exercise together. Yes, you heard me right. In every episode, we will have a healthy dose of exercises that we will do together. So we won't just talk about fit life. We will actually experience the fit life together. Are you ready? Then let's go. Is rugby a sport for a girl? That's the topic of today's show. Women's rugby is now one of the fastest growing team sport in the world. In total, more than 2.7 million women and girls play in professional leagues, at the Olympics, at universities, and even in grade school. Rugby promotes equality, it puts self-esteem, it's affordable, and it encourages resilience. It's empowering as well. Today, we're speaking with Steph, who is an amateur rugby player from Eton Manor women's rugby team. She got the rugby bag after watching her dad play for years and started playing herself at the young age of 13 for her hometown, Briglington, and when she was 14 up to 18th, she played for county level for Yorkshire. She's passionate about the game and encouraging more and more women to put their boots on and give it a go. Steph, welcome to the show.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
How good are vitamin C supplements? Usually only a small proportion of vitamin C actually reaches your cells and has a positive effect. Whereas the high absorption levels of Goldman Laboratories liposomal vitamin C help maintain optimal vitamin C levels in your body and strengthen your immune system. Now get 10% off when you choose Goldman Laboratories liposomal vitamin C capsules. Just quote 10 off at goldmanlaboratories.com.
Do you suffer from pain? B-Cure Laser, a home-use CE-approved medical device for the effective treatment of pain, is now available in the UK. The results of a double-blind trial has shown that B-Cure Laser offers a significant reduction in pain compared to the placebo group. To get your special B-Cure offer now, call free on 0808 501 5122 or Google Radio Pro London. B-Cure Laser.
B-Cure Laser.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon almost.
Hi.
How are you, Steph?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just actually excited to talk about something that is connected to being a badass girl, doing some sport that is not necessarily considered as the female one, speak about something that is very close to your heart, which is rugby.
Yeah.
Your love for it. And
absolutely.
well, first and foremost, just thank you for coming. Thank you for accepting invitation. Thank you for being with all of us, UK Health Radio and myself. So thank you for taking my
Thank you for having me.
So yeah, Steph, so tell us more about yourself. Introduce yourself. Where are you coming from? Who are you? Why rugby? A little short bio about yourself.
Life story in 1 minute. Here we go. I'm Steph. I'm from East Yorkshire, and I moved to London. Oh God, it must be about 9 years ago now. I started playing rugby when I was about 13. The whole of my childhood, my dad played, and every Sunday we'd go watch him, whether it was home or away. And I don't really remember it when I was very, very young, because we'd just be sent off to play. We'd just be like, yeah, go and play, go away. And then we'd come back and the pitch would be empty and we'd be like, okay, time's going now. But then as I got older, I started watching and being like, oh, this is pretty cool. And there's it's like a big social culture with rugby, and we were always part of that, being my dad's daughters, and we knew everybody, we knew everyone's names, we knew their kids. So there's like a real family kind of community sense to being part of a rugby team. So we started playing when we were 13. There wasn't a team, but I'd sort of expressed interest. I actually got kicked off of a netball team because I was too aggressive. So
you were 13.
Yeah, I was about 13, and my teachers were like, we can't have her playing because she's just too aggressive and it's a non-contact sport. Maybe she should try a contact sport. So my dad was like, should we try and see if there's any girls that would fancy playing? And we were like, yeah, sure. And we did. We got a few girls to play, and the numbers slowly started to grow and grow. And then I think I was about 14 when I started playing for Yorkshire at county level, and then played for the under-18s. But Yorkshire's huge, so to go to training was like sometimes a 2-hour drive. It was just, as we got a bit older and exams were happening, I was working in a restaurant, it just became impossible to sort of keep that up. Moved to London, stopped playing. I went to drama school, and it's not really a sport that you can play when you're... I
didn't know about it. Look at you.
I'm doing it now. But...
sport and dance and all that crazy artistic life.
Yeah, well, I kept watching, but I mean, you can't really be preparing for a show and then turn up the next day and be like, sorry, I broke my knee. Lol, let's rehearse everything. So gave it up for a few years, and then weirdly enough, I was doing a show at the Donmar a few years ago, and there was another actor who runs a girls' rugby, and we were chatting about it, and I was like, oh, I'd love to get back into it. And she said, there's loads of teams in London, you should look it up. And then that stuck with me, and a few weeks later, I saw this advert on Facebook for Inner Warrior, which is an initiative that the RFU, the rugby union kind of body, had brought to get women to taste rugby, to get a go. And I thought, oh, why not? I'll go for an afternoon, have a little run around. And I got there, and it was Jackie, who's the manager of the women's team, who had set it all up. And I was like, hey! So, did that for a few hours and just fell in love with them, and I've stuck around ever since.
So since you were 13, we can say, until now, are you still playing? Are you still active? Are you still training?
So my team's part of a league. It's the NC2 league. There's different leagues, different levels. So yeah, we play every other weekend.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? How does it collide with your work? Does it have any impact, or you can freely actually be there every week?
Yeah, I don't work weekends. I luckily have a Monday to Friday, so yeah, I can go play on Sundays. Might be a little bit sore the Monday after, but yeah, generally it's absolutely fine.
And never no injuries? Did you have any injuries over the years?
I've got one currently. Yeah, I've got one currently, which is really frustrating. And that's another thing about sport in general. But I guess the more high risk sports that are contact sports, I've got a torn ligament in my ankle, which I did. It must have been about seven weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. And I've never had a really bad injury before, which has kept me from playing games. I missed a couple at the end of last year. So trying to I'm not a very patient person. I'm like, no, do it now. Let's just get on with it.
Yep, that's me.
Yes, yeah. And that doesn't really work with rehab. So I've been seeing a physio, and he's been giving me exercises, and he actually physios for a rugby team, so he knows how I'm itching to get back on the pitch and play. But yeah, injuries, it's one of those things, and it's one of the questions I get asked a lot, like, are you not scared of hurting yourself? Well, yeah, of course, but I think with any kind of contact sport, if you hang back and I don't know how to describe it, like if you don't go all in, that's when you're going to really get injured. But these things happen. It is a contact sport, so get in there.
No, I feel you on this. I hate injuries. Now I have my knee. Oh Jesus, it's still broken. It's been like 4 months, 5 months now.
Yeah.
And it's just hard because I cannot go back to my regular routine, sparring and all that. So it's just very annoying. But that's a life of an athlete. That's just life. And I'm not a very patient person. I'm just like, now, fix it now.
Do it now. Yesterday.
So tell me, you already said a little bit about your rugby journey. So in terms of now more of a, comparing it to a men league, woman league, is there any difference between how females and men play rugby? Is women's rugby harder, less hard?
I think that's a really good question. I think the rules are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
In principle, on paper, it's the same game. But I do, from the games that I've watched, I would say that we play different tactically. I think watching the men's rugby, they have these big men that just power through, and we do have some big women that can do that. But I think the women's game tends to be a lot faster, and we'll use the backs a bit more, and it's a bit more tactical. So yes, it is the exact same game, but we play it slightly differently. I think the women's is more exciting because you see the ball moving a lot more than in the men's. I think the men's, it's very much hammer next to another forward, hammer it to another forward, hammer it, and then it'll be kicked for a back to chase. But with the women's, I think it's a lot more speedy.
There's more tactic. You feel like female tend to think more or be more like
maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with boxing. When you spar when you spar with male boys, sometimes we do that. It's just completely different vibe and completely different speed, and the game is completely different. And then you go in the ring with a girl, and it's like, okay, I need to put the gear number 6.
Yeah.
Different energy, different technique, different sort of, I would say, speed, attitude. Is just very, very, very different. But I love it. I rather obviously due to lack of girls in boxing and probably in your sport, sometimes we put to work with boys. Mm-hmm. But I do prefer to work with another girl because it's just more realistic to what you're gonna get out there in the ring. So tell me, how many girls is on your team at the moment?
I would say we've got about 30 to 35 that come regularly to training.
Oh, wow. And that's in London.
There's a lot. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, because, why it interests me, because I remember when I saw first time female NFL, when I saw girls playing such a dangerous, difficult, hard sport, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
it's dope. And rugby, Europeans and especially British consider rugby as this type of equivalent of American football. So tell me, are those girls also like yourself? Because I saw you in person. You're pretty slim, petite.
I'm tiny.
I would never think like, damn, this girl can go crazy and is aggressive in the field. You look very feminine, very, very I would say how to put it, like just very feminine, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just are the girls more like you, or are they different sizes, different body shapes? How does it look like?
I think the beauty of rugby is there are 15 different positions on a team, and every single one of those positions will do something different. So you've got the forward pack, which is going to be, a bit bigger. They're going to be taller. They're going to be a bit stronger, not as fast. The backs are going to be leaner, slimmer. But within those two kind of forwards and back packs, you've got different roles that people play. You've got people that will barely touch a ball, but are instrumental in the defence and moving the ball forwards. You've got people that are really tall that can jump and catch a ball. You've got people who are quite fast, but not as fast as the backs, so that they can kind of outrun the forwards, but not the backs. The backs will always catch them. So I think that's what I love about rugby, is that there's no one size fits all at all. There are so many different positions, so many different roles for people to play within a team. So no, not everyone looks like me. I'm often the smallest on the team, but then sometimes I'm not. But I think sometimes people, when they do see that I'm the smallest on the team, it's great because I get underestimated.
Yeah, then you can show
That first 10 minutes, first few minutes of a game, I guess it's the same in boxing, where you're trying to feel out your opponent and be like, oh, how are you playing your game? What are your tactics? Okay, that's how you do that. And then you do that with the other players. You're like, who's the fast one? Who's the strong one? Who can kick really well? And often in the first few minutes, I get kicked to or run at because they think that they'll get past me really easily because I'm so slim and so small. But then you've got some really big players that are so slow, and so they're actually a bit easier to take down. Different strengths and weaknesses for each player. So there's no, this person's going to be great at rugby because they're this size. Nothing like that.
So can I say you're the fastest one? You're like the little.
Oh God, no! I'm sort of down the middle. I'm fast, but there are definitely people faster than me.
I see. Are there any requirements to play rugby, especially for females?
A sense of humour.
Oh really?
Oh God, yeah. When you're actually playing, you will scream and shout at each other. So I think having that kind of mentality of it's not personal. I will scream at my players, get that way, this way, come on, that kind of thing. But I'm not shouting at you because you're an idiot, because you're in the wrong place. It's just that is how you communicate on a pitch. You've got to get that message out quickly. And if you're someone that doesn't like being shouted at, then it's probably not for you. But it's as soon as you get off the pitch, you have a drink together, you have a hug, and everything's forgiven and forgotten. I think not having a fear of being injured, kind of, we touched upon this earlier, but if you have that fear and you go into a tackle half-heartedly, that's when you're going to do your shouldering or something like that. When you're lifting, you've got to brace. And if you're not bracing for a tackle, you're not bracing for those kind of impacts, that's when you're not going to protect yourself. So other than that, there's definitely no requirements. You don't have to be the fittest person in the world. You will get fitter playing. But there's no, I think the kind of level that you want to play at, maybe if you're at a slightly higher league, you probably want to have played it before. But if you're going into like a lower league, just turn up, have a go.
How the training looks like?
It differs week to week. If we've played a game and we've identified something that we need to work on, then we'll do some drills based on that. Sometimes it'll be some strength and conditioning, which is disgusting, but needed. Often the forwards and the backs will split off. The forwards will do scrummaging, they'll do line outs, and the backs will do some like ball plays and things like that, kicking and things that the forwards don't need to know how to do. And then we'll do some like shadow play where we'll have a pretend opposition and we go through the phases of how we want our game to look like in attack.
I see. So you do have some days when you go do S&C, strength and conditioning, when you do, okay, great. And then you have your, do you watch a lot of games as well?
Yeah, I support a team called Sale Sharks, which is the Gallagher Premiership rugby, kind of like the FA version of rugby. So I watch them every week. I try and watch as much rugby as I can, really, I think, because I just enjoy it anyway. But sometimes you watch something and go, what was that? That was amazing. There's an app or a page on Instagram called Rugby Pass, and it breaks down the set pieces that teams use. First of all, by showing the video, and they also show like little dots with numbers on it so that you can see exactly what this player did, and you can be like, oh, let's give that a go in training and see if we can use that move.
Yes, we can study because this is apparently, well, I know that because my coaches are always on that case to the footage and watch guys, but don't watch professional boxers, watch amateurs because this is different, so it's always like, watch. And I agree with that. Sometimes it's very hard because when I watch, I just put myself in their shoes. So then I feel like I'm living and I'm doing it, and it's just weird feeling. It's just weird feeling. But I do love to watch it though.
Yeah. So it's one of the most exciting games, I think. rugby. I think sometimes when I watch football, there are certain passages of play that are really exciting, but unless there's a goal, there's no other scores that can happen. Whereas in rugby, the scoreline's constantly changing. There's constantly things going on, power plays, the psychology of, the game as well. I think the last 10 minutes, there's a real shift in mentality of who wants it more.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever felt like you're type of a tomboy girl, or have you ever felt like you're just not necessarily fully belong to the girls world, but obviously, we're happy that we're there, but it's just the sport, the type of adrenaline that we crave is just a little different. Have you ever had that feeling?
Oh, definitely. When I was growing up, I was always called a tomboy. But I think just like I love to get dressed up and put my makeup on, put a nice dress on and that kind of thing. I also love rolling around in mud and playing rugby. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I owe you femininity. And just because I like playing rugby doesn't mean I have to be really masculine. So I think I am who I am, and I have both sides of me.
So how would you encourage now, for example, young girls who have that urge to do something like rugby, but they feel like perhaps that would take something off their feminine side? Because, we do hear those comments. I don't know if you've heard, but I've heard a lot of comments like, oh, you do boxing. Oh, that's not very girly. And then, it's not like you have to perhaps say something back or fight for yourself, because you know who you are, your values and how you feel inside. But it's just not necessarily a comment that would encourage you or encourage a young people. So how would you speak to a younger self or younger girl who is interested in that but doesn't have enough courage?
You can absolutely be both. There's no, oh, if you do rugby, then that's all that you are. You're just this tomboy masculine girl that does this. Absolutely not. Like, I've heard the comments about, it's not a girly sport less and less and less as I've gotten older. I think now when I say I play rugby, it's very like, oh, that's cool. Tell me more about it. I think it definitely was a generational thing where people who are a little bit older didn't see it as very girly. It's very how you should act, but that's definitely getting less and less. So I'd say to girls, screw it, just give it a go. If you want to do it, do it. And then you can still get dressed up and, put lip gloss on at the weekend. Like, you can do both. I always get laughed at by my team because we'll play a game and then I'll put a full glam on to go into the pub afterwards. So I'm there like the last one out because I'm putting a full beat on. Mascara, I've got my hair done, like I've got a nice top on, and they're like, what are you doing? Because that's how I feel comfortable. I want to go and sit and have a drink and feel girly right after I've played rugby.
So you touched on this, but have you ever overheard any negative comments from a man, especially about female playing such a, let's call it a man's sport? It happened to me though. It happened to me several times. Ooh.
I haven't heard nothing directly to me, not in a very, very long time. No, I genuinely, no, I haven't, which I think is really refreshing. I think whenever I do speak about rugby, working at the gym, I've made so many friends with all the rugby lovers because they know that I understand the game and I like watching the game. And it's not just, oh, you've watched your boyfriend play once. Oh, that's really cute. It's no, I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm a coach. I play. So no, not recently. And even if they did, it genuinely wouldn't offend me. It would just make me laugh because, poor you, because you've not brought yourself into this century where women play rugby now.
Well, that's great. That you see that shift and change. That's amazing. I mean, I see that too slowly, but there's still people that really gonna have strong opinion about girls boxing and being like you say, the best way is to laugh, because at the end of the day they're missing out on watching female doing something amazing, because I believe females are an amazing athletes, because they do it completely different than a man. We have that emotional and spiritual side to everything that we do. So I feel for us, it just has completely different emotion level sport than for a man.
Yeah.
So I think they miss out on a lot of.
Yeah, and I think kind of touching on what you were saying earlier about what would I say to a young girl, I'd say to those men that were saying that, if you had a daughter, if you had a niece, if you had, you know, a young girl in your life that was, you know, considering rugby, don't be that person that stops them from pursuing it. You know, you don't know what, you know, there might be a sister or a cousin in your life that wants to give it a go later on in life. Don't be that person that stops somebody doing something that they want to do because you've got an opinion that's, no, doesn't need to be said out loud.
Yeah. So is rugby only a game for you and a sport, or does it have any other roles or meanings in your life?
Yeah, it's like I said right at the beginning, there's such a social aspect to rugby. You know, there's a real camaraderie and family and sisterhood within women's rugby in particular, and definitely in the men's game as well, where when you're on the pitch, you have to trust, you know, your teammates. You can't play a game of rugby on your own. You have to trust in the people and know that they're going to be by your side. And that definitely comes forward into the social aspect, going for drinks, doing social events and things like that. The reason, so my rugby team is the opposite end of London, Eton Manor, shout out. And they absolutely kept me going to them, even though it takes me an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half back. Yeah, it's long. And there are clubs way closer to me that I could go and play for, but I adore them. So I've stuck around and I keep doing that stupid commute every week.
No, it's not stupid. Listen, it's the same for me. I'm a part of my Brixton team, and I used to live around the corner, 10 minutes, but then I started to move around, and now I have the maybe like hour and 10 minutes to get there. But just like yourself, there's hell no way I'm changing.
Yeah.
More clubs around where I could family is family, loyalty is loyalty, team is your team.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah, amazing. So tell me, where do you want to take your rugby sport? What are the future plans or goals with your rugby?
So we're in a league at the moment, and the way it works is the team at the top gets promoted to the league above. We're in with a chance of that. Definitely. I think this was the first time that we'd played in a league, and I don't think we went in there with very high expectations. We kind of went, we haven't got that many games under our belt. Let's just give it a go and see what happens. But we've done so well. So we're definitely in with a shot of promotion. We've still got another half of the season to go. But if not, then we just go into the next season next year. In the summer, you also get loads of sevens festivals. So rugby sevens is a slightly different game to regular rugby union. There's obviously only 7 people on the pitch, but it's the same size pitch. So it's a lot faster. It's a lot more tough. We did one sevens festival last year, but I think this year we're going to put a team together for as many of the festivals and things as we can, which they're always so much fun, those festivals, because you play sport for a day and then you get really drunk afterwards. So it's like, yeah, it's great.
Okay. And in terms of, you know, a little bit of touching on mental health and mental aspect of the sport, do you feel like, or have you ever met someone, overheard someone saying how rugby as a sport helped them to overcome any type of life situations, mental and emotional?
Absolutely. During the pandemic, we the first lockdown, we did Zooms all the time, and we had like weekly check-ins to see how everyone was doing, and it's something that we're all really, really passionate about. There's one of our props who she works for a charity that does a lot of stuff with mental health. So yeah, we're really, really big on, you know, making sure that we're all okay and checking in with each other and things like that. And a lot of people have said that, you know, being part of a team, having something to look forward to every week has really helped them with their own mental health. So yeah, I think any sport that gets you out of bed and gets you moving and gets you excited is going to inevitably be really good for your mental health, whether that's rugby, boxing, just going to the gym, yoga, whatever it is. I think it's a really crucial part of having good mental well-being.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, well, sometimes you have those personal stories when you hear people opening up and saying like how certain sport literally saved their life, or really helped them to overcome some life traumatic situations. And sometimes you just have that, you might just be bored or feeling a little down, and then there is that sport that, like you said, motivates you, get you out of your bed, and you keep moving, and that is already an improvement in your life quality, your life hygiene, your mental health, and you're just way more happy, upbeat person because you have something that you can look forward to, like yourself, your games, and your girls, and every weekend. And like you said, you travel there hour and a half one way, so that's a lot. It speaks for itself.
Yeah. Yeah,
how
absolutely.
How you work help you to understand more of a sport, because you work at the gym. Do you feel like there is a deep connection there? Do you feel like you have better understanding because of what you do in your professional life, and then when you go into a field, do you see any connection between those two worlds?
Yeah, definitely. I'm the kicker for my team, and I've got really good accuracy with my kicks, not very good power. There was a study done a few years ago that there is a definite difference between a woman and a man when it comes to kicking. And so I've been working a lot on plyometrics to try and build up that power. And, I know about these different styles of training from working in the gym and speaking to PTs and coaches and trainers. So, just incorporating that into my training to try and increase that explosive power that I can use in kicks and in acceleration for sprints.
Right. So yeah, it does help you. It does have that. You can see that link. Yeah, that's amazing. Because I think when you're in two different worlds, sometimes it's hard to. Sometimes it's great because it's like your completely different escape system and moment to come, for example, from office world into a sport world. But when those two worlds are connected, I feel like your whole life become this sport journey. From the early morning to then late evenings, and you just live it.
I don't mind it though. Like I love what I do, and I love. I just recently started teaching spin as well, and I love doing that. And so that saying, I know I'm one of those people that literally screams at you. I love it.
There you go.
I've had people say, I thought you were quiet, and then that happened. I was like, but that kind of saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I kind of feel like that is me at the moment. I love being in the gym. I love chatting to people, and I'm the studio manager, so I work with all the instructors and with the equipment and bits and bobs like that. And I actually really enjoy it. I love the team that I'm with, so I love being involved in fitness all the time. I think it's I love doing it, and so it doesn't feel like work.
Amazing. So what's next for you, Steph? Lead us to your plans.
I'm currently working on my level 2 gym instructor, so that I can start teaching other bits and bobs. I was thinking recently that I really wanted to go into almost stunt performer type things. I train as an actor, and I'd love to be able to do stunts and fights and things like that. So yeah, need to increase the upper body a bit more, the upper body strength. But I think tumbling and tricking.
We didn't touch up on your artistic background, on your so, damn, that's a good connection. I do have some friends that do the stunt work, and it's it's amazing, but it's dangerous, and it's a lot of work. Geez, when I see how they train, what they put their bodies into, is like, wow, you definitely need life insurance.
I think, definitely. I think I could potentially have like a niche market if I'm going to be a stunt double, because I'm so small. I could potentially be like a child's double.
100%.
So, yeah.
100%. Okay, so that's your plan for
future. It's a long time. Like from everything I've read, it takes years to actually get on the stunt register. You can perform, and not be on the stunt register. But, you know, ideally you want to have that kind of under your belt, but that can take, you know, 5 years to get on the stunt register because it's so grueling. They only take the best.
Why not? Listen, we live only once, and then you don't want to waste any day of your life. I always say that, you know, I'd rather keep trying, and whoever thinks whatever, I don't care, because the worst thing is to feel regrets, and you could have done something and you haven't done it. And so I feel like anyone who is trying whatever it is, big ups for this, because that takes courage, that takes independent thinking, that takes you waking up every day and motivate yourself, because sometimes it's only you who sees that vision.
Yeah.
And so I always tell people it's really never too late, like for nothing, and rather try than just end up with those sad thoughts of what if. Yeah,
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Well,
yeah, I think having like that mentality of ask for forgiveness rather than permission, I think I live by that.
There you go. And I think that's a great ending to our interview. But before we do it, please share yours and your team, perhaps Instagram, website. We're gonna add it in the description, but I just want to make sure that people know where perhaps to contact you, or maybe your team, if they want to join and do some rugby.
Come on down and join. We're part of NC2 Southeast, so we're not entry level rugby, because that's an inner warrior league, but definitely we have newcomers coming all the time that within a few weeks start playing. But yeah, the team is called Eton Manor, and you can find them on Instagram as Eton Manor _women. And myself, I actually don't know mine. I think it's Stephanie _Manton. Yeah, Stephanie _Manton. You can come and find me, have a chat if you're interested in playing.
Perfect. We're gonna add all those as well in the description, so it will be.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for taking time of your Sunday lunchtime. Thank you. You know, some people are just like, nah, not Sunday. I'm partying on Saturday. So thank you for working on your day off and chatting with me. I think it's inspirational, it's uplifting, it's motivational, and that's all we do. And that's what I wanted to spread and make sure that there's more girls like yourself who are trying, are not afraid, and just they do whatever plays in their heart and heads.
Yeah, give rugby a try.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye. And now it's time for our workout. But before we continue, here are some valuable information from our station sponsors.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Scalar light is the quantum energy emitted from the universe, from the sun and stars. Now, Tom Palladino, a humanitarian and scalar light researcher, has created the world's only scalar light healing system, a system that can bring long-distance healing and wellness to humans, pets, and plants via a photograph. Get your free 15-day trial now at scalarlight.com. Or click on the Scalar Light banner on the UK Health Radio website.
Shields like masks are top of mind right now. But did you know you have inner armor working constantly to protect you from pathogens? It keeps you healthy and thriving. It's your immune system. Ion Gut triggers the body's natural ability to support gut strength all year long, so your immune system can protect you when you need it the most. How are you treating your inner armor? Visit uk.ionbiome.com to learn more. Ion Gut. Protect what protects you.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Okay, team, so today our workout will be all about stretching our lower body. We will stretch our hamstring, shoulders, and quads. I will also upload the video for you to have reference. So my video will be outdoor, where I use a tree. but you can do it indoor, outdoor, at the gym, wherever you would like. So first stretch, hamstring stretch. You're going to place your feet against a wall or a tree, and you're going to really press your body weight against that tree or a wall or whatever you are. Just make sure you really feel your hamstring stretch, and you should be very close to your chest, your back leg straight on your toes, ball of your feet, and you should press entire body weight towards your front leg. Stay in that stretch for about 30 seconds. If you can stay longer, perfect. And after that, please switch sides. So make sure you work both sides equally. That's your number 1. Stretch number 2 is a shoulder stretch. You can do it again like myself, outdoor using a tree, or you can lie on the floor or use a wall. If you're at the gym, you can use a frame. You're gonna hold that frame or a tree with one hand, one shoulder, one side will be stretched at a time. So you fully rotate your body towards the opposite direction. Make sure your head is also looking towards the opposite direction. Stay tall. Make sure your hips and shoulders are square. Fully rotate. Stay in that position for 30 seconds. If you're on the floor, exactly the same rules apply. And then after 30 seconds, please make sure you switch sides. And the final stretch, we go for a quadricep stretch. So you can hold that leg with your hands, or you can use a tree like myself, or against the wall. The back foot is against the tree or wall, or you hold it in your hands. You squeezing your knees in, so knees are touching each other. Make sure your hips are square, belly button in, and stay nice and tall. If you have problem with balance, you can do it again against the wall. That will help you, or with the help of a tree like myself. Hold it there, and really you should feel that quadricep stretch. Once you finish on one side, switch it to the other side. It is very important, team, to after any type of workout you stretch, take some 5-10 minutes at least to stretch. Never leave your workout without stretches. You don't want any injuries. You do want to be able to do your workout following day. So make sure you do pay attention to your stretches. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for working out, and I will see you next time. Studies have shown that when girls participate in sports, their lives are positively influenced both on and off the field. Not only does participation in sport instill crucial life skills such as teamwork and good sportspersonship, but also decrease negative health risks such as breast cancer and obesity. Participation in sports also increases academic success and the likelihood of high school graduation. Rugby has the power to transform and to teach you many powerful lessons. This sport is for a girl who wants to challenge herself, who wants a big dream, who wants to feel strong. I believe you can find the courage to achieve your dreams and more through the power of sport. You learn about determination, dedication, and toughness. And rugby is an amazing sport which has the power to change lives. You should expect to be challenged if you take up the game, because rugby is one of those sports where it can get tough, but you should also expect to have fun. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as well as our short workout together. And speaking about workout, I would like to invite you all to my dance/fitness class called Afro House and Hit. It is a class with high energy, a lot of fun, and a lot of sweat too. Fast, energetic dance fitness workout to the sound of your favorite Afro house music. We will be dancing and burning calories at the same time. I will incorporate elements of house dance, house moves, interval training, and resistance training to make it great cardio and HIIT workout. So if you want to get an amazing workout, learn some dance moves, and burn tons of calories, join me for my Afro House and Hit on Saturday, the 29th of January, 2 to 3:30 in central London. If you need more information, please make sure you visit my website www.nataliakotowska.com, where you're going to find all information about the coming event. Follow me on Instagram, Fitness with NK, where you can find a lot of workouts, a lot of great videos, and you can also DM me with any questions, any concerns, any topics that you would like me to cover. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.